Let's bring this meeting to order.
Hey, Lieutenant.
Lieutenant, somebody saw our wall. Can everybody please stand up? If you have hats, remove them. I'm going to ask everybody to put your hands over your heart. We're saluting the flag, not the government of the United States, the flag of a country that's been around for over 200 years, and a lot of people have died for it. Clerk?
God of the universe, look thou with favor upon these here assembled, and bestow thy guidance upon the members of the governing body and their deliberations. This we ask in thy name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In the event of an emergency, the proper method of exiting the council chambers is through the 3 doors in the rear of the room that say, exit. You go down, you walk out. Remember, never panic, safety first. Any member of the public wishing to speak during the public comment session at the end of the meeting, please sign in on the white sheets provided at the front of the room. Cell phones. All cell phones will be off. If you are needed, or if you need to make a phone call, please step outside and let us proceed with the meeting. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mrs. Ormond.
Here.
Byer.
Here.
Brown. Here. Brooks.
Here.
Cosby Hurling.
Here.
Sadowski.
Here.
Strano.
Here.
Yamakaitis.
Here.
Medina.
Here.
Hickey.
Here.
Mr. Alvarez.
Here. Approving the minutes of the July 19, 2016 meeting.
I make a motion for the approval of the minutes for July 19th and ask for a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond.
Yes.
Byer.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Brooks.
Yes.
Cosby Hurling.
Yes.
Sadowski.
Yes.
Strano.
Yes.
Yamakaitis.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Hickey.
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez.
Yes. We had an ordinance that was tabled last month. This ordinance will remain on table until September 2016 meeting. That's ordinance 60-50. Ordinance on hearing. This is the date and time established for the public hearing for ordinances on hearing. Ordinance 60-56.
An ordinance to amend an ordinance entitled, an ordinance establishing a schedule of title, salary ranges, and regulations for maintaining the classification and salary standardization plan of all employees of the City of Linden, passed August 15, 1995, and approved August 16, 1995, by amending and modifying Schedule 4 KK-5.
Has any written communication been received?
No, sir.
Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Is there anyone that wishes to be heard on this ordinance? In that case, can I have a motion, please?
It's 5. Council President, make a motion for the passage of ordinance 60-56 and ask for a second.
Second.
And to close the public hearing, sir.
And to close the public hearing.
Mrs. Ormond.
Yes.
Byer.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Brooks.
Yes.
Cosby Hurling.
Yes.
Sadowski.
Yes.
Strano.
Yes.
Yamakaitis.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Hickey.
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez.
Yes. Mr. Clerk, can you please read ordinance 60-57?
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 7, Traffic, 7-33.1A, Handicap Parking Regulations, on street as follows. Add 628 East Blanky Street, 1 space. 1119 Dill Avenue, 1 space. 504 Washington Avenue, 1 space. 115 West 18th Street, 1 space.
Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Has any written communication been received?
No, sir.
Is there anyone who wishes to be heard on this ordinance? May I have a motion, please?
Council President, I make a motion to pass ordinance 60-57 and call for a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Mr. Clerk, can you please read ordinance 60-58?
An ordinance providing an appropriation of $110,000 for the installation of traffic signals and related traffic improvements for the police department, and authorizing the issuance of $104,500 in bonds or notes of the city for financing part of the appropriation.
Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Has any written communication been received?
No, sir.
Is there anyone that wishes to speak on this ordinance? May I have a motion, please?
Council President, make a motion for the passage of ordinance 60-56 and ask for a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Mr. Porter, can you please read ordinance 60-59?
Bond ordinance amending bond ordinance number 58-27, finally adopted by the City Council of the City of Linden, New Jersey on May 20th, 2014, as amended.
Has the ordinance been properly published and posted?
Yes, sir.
Has any written communication been received?
No, sir.
Is there anyone that wishes to speak on this ordinance? May I have a motion, please?
Council President, make a motion to pass bond ordinance number 60-59 and call for a second.
Second.
And to close the public hearing.
And to close the public.
And to close the public hearing.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. It's hot in here. All items listed with asterisks are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be enacted with one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless a council member or citizen so request, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. Is there any items 1 through 8 that anyone would like to speak on, be removed? Can I ask for a motion?
Council President, I move for approval of consent agenda items 1 through 8 and request a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown? Brooks?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. At this time, we're going to go with the committee reports and comments from the council people. We're going to start with Councilwoman from the First Ward, Mrs. Orman.
Thank you, Council President. Good evening, First Ward residents. Had a few things that have come up over the month, just pertaining to some basic questions that you had as to what's going on. First of all, I'd like to talk a little bit about Pathmark. We were concerned what was going to be placed there since Pathmark has closed down, and there was a lot of talk about a grocery store, Key Foods, coming in. That was stalled pretty much due to the position or the ownership of the property. It is now bank-owned, and we're hoping that in the next, I would say maybe a few months, we can start some sort of conversations with getting someone into that particular location. But the holdup was primarily because it was going into foreclosure and we were not able to do anything with it. But once again, now that it is bank-owned, it changes things a little bit. I also want to speak a little bit about curbing your pets in our community. I see lots of people walking their dogs, and for those who are diligent and clean up behind their dogs, I thank you. But it's never acceptable to let your dog go to the bathroom on someone else's front lawn. We have city property on the sides. You still have to clean up there, but it's really never acceptable to let your dog go on someone else's lawn. There are fines up to $2,000 if you do not curb your pet. I've actually caught someone going on my lawn. I went into the house and I gave them plastic bags, I will not be so kind next time. I will report you. It is a health hazard for the children, it's a health hazard for the community. Please clean up after your pets. There's also going to be introduced for first reading an ordinance pertaining to the feeding of stray animals. We're all pet lovers, but there is an ongoing problem with some of the strays, so that's going to be addressed as well. Most of my ward is now on the automated trash pickup, and it's been successful. But just like any new program that gets implemented, there are going to be kinks that need to be worked out. For instance, we know that there is tight parking around the school districts, so we have to leave it up to DPW to figure it out, whether or not they're going to come earlier before the school opens, or whether or not it's going to be a later pickup. But we will work out some of those kinks. I've noticed just a few houses in the neighborhood that have called and said that they did not get their garbage picked up. When I went back around, I noticed that their cans weren't turned properly. You must turn your cans with the arrows pointing outward if you want the truck to be able to pick your can up and dump it accurately. I'd also like to take this opportunity to wish Chief Schulhafer best wishes in his retirement. For all of your years of service, we appreciate what you have done. We're going to have a meeting in September for the 1st Ward and the 3rd Ward residents to introduce them to the provisional chief of police that we're going to put forth on our agenda for today. What day is that going to be, Peter? September 14th at the library, time to be determined. You will be receiving notification in your mailboxes as well as through email for those that I have your email address, as well as some personal phone calls with some more particulars. But we are encouraging everyone in our community to please come out and meet the provisional chief of police. With what's going on in the news and the friction that happens between the communities and the police, we feel as though this is going to be an excellent opportunity for us to get to know one another and express our concerns and just, verify that we are going to be willing to work together. Last but not least, I would like to say thank you to Mayor Armstead for organizing our first citywide backpack to school event. Pretty much in September, lots of organizations do backpack giveaways, and I applaud them because, there are children that really can't afford to get school supplies and backpacks. So it's an admirable and it's a wonderful thing when charities and different organizations do that. But one of the things that happen is we stretch our resources because our fire department and our police department have to go to multiple locations every time there is a giveaway for the safety of our community. Well, this time in the promenade, I believe it's going to be on the 29th from, I believe it's 5:30 to 8:30. We're going to be giving away backpacks for all grade levels. And one of the great things about this particular backpack giveaway, they're just not generic backpacks that have a stamp on it from the organization. These were backpacks that were actually purchased. They're designer, they're colorful, they're bright and beautiful. They're backpacks that all children would be very proud to wear on their backs and carry to school. We're also making sure that the backpacks are grade appropriate, because of these backpack giveaways, a 5th grader and a senior get the same pencil and plastic pencil sharpener. So we're making sure that the items that are in the backpacks are going to be acceptable for the grade level. And I would also like to take the time to thank Sandy Vasquez, who is part of our Mayor's Youth Commission, for getting together a group of volunteers to help stuff the backpacks. And, Council President, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Byer.
Yes, Mr. President. I have a report from Construction Code. The month of July, in the Construction Code, we issued 195 permits, 137 certificates, and they generated $86,398 in fees. That money was turned over to the Finance Department. Also in the Construction Code, Councilwoman in the 8th Ward has a request for a street light at 840 Meacham Ave, pole number 64233. And also in the 2nd Ward, we had a water main break. If you're always wondering about the mud that was on the
Excuse me,
corner-
Councilman.
Oh, sorry
We need a
about that.
motion on this streetlight, please.
Yeah, Mr. President, I'd like to get a motion that we have the street light approved and seek a second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling.
Yes.
Sadowski.
Yes.
Strano.
Yes.
Yemakaitis.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Hickey.
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez.
Yes.
All right, sorry about this rattling off there. In the second ward, we had a lot of mud on the corner of DeWitt Street and Elm. It was because of water main break. And then 4 days later, we had another water main break on the 300 block of Lafayette Street. Right at School 8, we had a brand-new street put in, and 5 or 6 days later, we had a water main break that had to dig up the brand-new street. It's a shame. Also, on Stiles Street, we have a resolution tonight that it's been 12 months now. Last August, I put in to have a crosswalk installed on the corner of Stiles Street and Amon Terrace so the kids can cross the street safely. This goes to show you, you may ask your councilman to do something, it takes a lot of red tape to get things done. It's been 12 months now, and we're finally reading a resolution to kind of complete the whole project. It's going through the county, so we had to coordinate with the county, with our city engineer department, so it took a while. But it's finally getting in. I was hoping to get in before the school got out, but unfortunately, it didn't. Stiles Street got repaved. It's a 35-mile-an-hour street, and when it got repaved, the truck traffic exceeds about 40 to 45 miles an hour. When they repave a street, it's nice and smooth, traffic smooth, goes a little quicker. People complain about potholes, but they do slow down traffic. Let's see, citywide garage sale. The 9th and 10th Ward been having garage sales, and their fees had been waived for anybody that was participating. Well, now, tonight, again, we have a resolution, and we're gonna waive the fees for the garage sale. It's gonna be citywide, and the garage sale for citywide will be October 1st and 2nd. Rain dates will be October 8th and 9th. So if anybody got anything they wanna sell, your fees will be waived, but you still have to register with the city clerk's office. That's the end of my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Brown?
Yes, approval is requested for the following finance actions. The payment of bills totaling $2,080,917.48. Bills have been signed by the mayor, council president, and finance chairman, and a detailed check register and vouchers are in file in the clerk's office. Item number 2, we are in the receipts of investments made by the city treasurer for the month of July at a rate of 0.15%. I move for approval and ask for a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond.
Yes.
Byer.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Brooks.
Yes.
Cosby Hurling.
Yes.
Sadowski.
Yes.
Strano.
Yes.
Yemakaitis.
Yes.
Medina.
Yes.
Hickey.
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez.
Yes.
End of report.
Was that end of report?
I'm sorry?
You said end of report?
Yeah, that's the way we report should be.
Can we write this down somewhere else, like
My reports are always shorter than
Olympic
most.
world record? Thank you, Councilman Brown.
Hot in here. The AC is off, so I think we all want to get out of here.
Councilman Brooks?
Thank you, Council President. Good evening. Some really good things. You know, I'm really excited about what's going on in the 4th Ward, as I'm sure everybody's excited what's going on in their respective wards. But on the 20th of this month, there will be a picnic at Dr. King Park. That will include a lot of activities for children, little petting things, so there'll be some animals out there. Great time to come out, say hello to everybody in the ward. On the 28th, we're talking about Dr. King Park, 4th Ward. On the 28th, which is next Sunday, I'm going to be having a meet and greet at Dr. King Park. Come out, say hello, have a burger with me, hot dog. Let's sit down and talk about what's going on, some of the positive things that I see going on in the ward. And don't forget what Councilwoman Ormond spoke about with regard to Monday, the following day, at the promenade. Everybody at the promenade. I will not be giving out books or supplies or anything like that. On the 28th, hamburgers, hot dogs, hello to me, let's talk about the 4th Ward. And everybody, keep in mind, the following day at the promenade. On the 28th, it would be from 2 to 5 in the afternoon. 2 to 5 in the afternoon, the 28th. Please come out and say hello to me. With regard to the automated trash pickup, it started in the 4th Ward on the month of August. If you're looking at your yellow form that was included in your packet, if you go to the month of August, our trash pickup was twice a week prior to the automated system. Now it is once a week. The 4th Ward is divided into 2 sections, 4A and 4B. 4A runs from, in terms of lines of demarcation, 4A runs from Elizabeth Avenue to Henry Street. That trash pickup will be on Tuesdays. 4B runs from Henry Street to St. George's Avenue. That would be on Friday. So it's still 2 days. It's rather than it being twice a week, it is only once a week. 4A from Elizabeth Avenue to Henry Street, 4B from Henry Street to St. George's Avenue. Please take a look at the yellow form that was included in your packet. On that yellow form, look at the month of August. That will tell you exactly what I am saying to you now. But it will also include all the other pickups that transpired from trash, from cardboard, so forth. That will also be on that form. So please take a look at that. It was included in the packet. Obviously, when they put the trash cans out, wind blows. I was there when they started to put them out. I saw how they installed them. Some things happen. Sometimes a child may pick it up, brought it in the house. You didn't get an opportunity to see it. I understand that. There's some give and take with regard to, because we have 4A and 4B, some people will come out close to Henry Street, look down the street, and see Friday people putting their trash cans out and automatically put theirs out. That is not the case. 4A, 4B. Also, as Councilwoman Armand mentioned, the signs on the top, there are arrows on the top of your garbage can. They must be pointed towards the street. If they're not pointed towards the street, the automated system cannot pick it up. So please, again, all of this information is contained within the packet that you received. If you did not receive that packet, please give me a call, 908-406-8537. I will make sure that you receive it. Also, it is great to see our streets being, at least, as we continue to try to improve our streets, being improved, as opposed to just potholes being filled. So if you're looking at Carnegie Street, at Lincoln Street, at Henry Street, all of those streets are in the process, Dill Avenue, all of those streets are in the process of being, some of them already been completed, some of them being in the process of being completed. With the good, there are times, and this happened to me as well, where I will come out of my house and I'm able to drive wherever it is I want to go. When I come back, they're working on the street, and I may not be able to get right back in. Please, give the guys an opportunity to finish up what they're doing. Believe me, the end result will be well worth maybe going around the street, backing up, doing a K-turn. You got to practice a K-turn anyway. Doing a K-turn, come back over, all will be fine. So I'm really, really pleased with the work that's being done with regard to our ward as it relates to our streets. There was a great picnic on Sunday right across the street from First Baptist Church, and thank you DPW and a couple of those guys who came out. Ransom was one who came out and assisted in terms of getting extra garbage cans over there to make sure that everything was picked up. And thanks again, because there were some bags and stuff out there as well as a couple of garbage cans. That was all done. And to the members of First Baptist Church, you will also get an additional can. We're looking into it now, but there will be an additional can. You only have one, you will have two. I've already talked to our director over there, and he assures me that that's going to get done. So we have several things going on. Please enjoy Dr. Martin Luther King Park on the 20th, kiddies, rides, little play pet thing on the 28th, which is this Sunday, meet and greet with me. Again, come out and have a hot dog with me. I don't really do soda, so water, juice, that kind of a thing, fruit, be fine. Don't forget, on Monday, the following day, to the promenade, book packs, and Councilwoman Orman already spoke to that. I'm sure the mayor may speak to it as well. So all great things going on in the ward. Hopefully we'll continue to do that. I'm enjoying what I'm seeing. I'm enjoying how clean our streets are. And obviously, there is always something that we have to continue to do. So in the event that we did not hit your street, we will. We will do everything we can to try to make sure that things get done. But keep in mind that our streets, as per engineering and city policy is, it goes year to year by ward. This year, 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. Next year coming up, 3, 5, 7, 9. So understand exactly how it is that goes. What you're looking at now is work being done in the even wards. Next year, the work will be done in the odd wards, and so forth and so forth and so forth. So we will continue to move through our wards and continue to make improvements, but it's always great to see those improvements going on, not just in my ward, but in every ward, because the beautification of the whole city is what we're all trying to do at every opportunity that we can do it, to make the quality of life better for everybody in every ward in this city. Because in me, it's always a great city. I've been brought up in it. It's been good to me. Hopefully, I'm being good to it. And again, we're known as people who help each other. So let's continue to do so. Thank you very much, Council President. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Cosby Hurling.
Thank you. And I'm offended that the council president just started the timer because I'm speaking, but that's okay, because I'm going to make my report short, because we do have an extensive personnel report. That's not right, George. That's not right. And so from the Fifth Ward, I want to report that we had the speed humps done a while ago. We were waiting to have the inspections to make sure that the signage was in the proper place and that everything was the proper height and the humps were fine. Everything was fine according to Lieutenant Bobowski. He said that everything checked out and there was no issue. So the signs are, wow, the signs are fine. Somebody had a concern about the visibility of the signs for the speed humps, so that's fine. In the Fifth Ward, you'll see on tonight's resolution, there's a resolution for the equipment at Hagel Avenue Park, which was our next park to be renovated in the Fifth Ward. That's going to be on with a matching grant. And I'm not going to go into too much specifics. I'm just going to say that this Sunday, we're going to be at the IOZ Park from 1 to 3 for our annual event. Our Let's Move activity is going to be a 1-mile walk-run race for all ages. And I think that's pretty much it. We do have partners in this. We have the Family Community Development Corporation. We have See and Learn Corporation. See and Learn is going to be with us, and we're going to be doing what we always do for that. I think that's it. I don't want to spend too much time. I'm going to go into the personnel report, but I will say, for the benefit of the public, especially my fan from Facebook, that I'm going to read the personnel report item by item so that it's clear. And if anyone has any questions before the report is read, the report is on the table. If you have any, you can come up, and if you have a question or comment about the report. Absolutely. Just turn the mic on, Joe.
Joe Lindsay, representing Local 469 Teamsters Union as shop steward. On the staff transfers, number one, last month you approved 2 staff transfers, which was our department, clerical department. I'm asking for this number one, if we could, if possible, table one of them and let the other one go through. With our conversation earlier, to help out, the process, if there is going to be any process, to avoid any problems going forward. And the reason is, I'm asking this question too, is I think they should be separated to begin with, because one was a voluntary move and the other was kind of a forced move. So I don't think they should be lumped together. So if we could somehow separate them and maybe get a motion to separate it, and one we could pass and the other we could table, if possible. That's my only question. Thank you.
They're both going to be separately read and voted on individually.
That works for me.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. Huh? So we're not doing it like that? Council President is speaking to me in my ear, and I'm not clear. Can the attorney just tell me what we're doing?
Yeah, thank you. I just indicated to the council president that your rules of procedure that govern this meeting don't allow for public comment or participation during a committee report.
Yes, they do.
And I was just advising that and letting the council president know that.
But, Council President, with her committee report, it's a
Yeah.
resolution, so because it's resolutions, you are allowed to make comments.
Yeah, we've been doing it since I've been here, so these are all individual resolutions. But the question is, are we reading them, am I breaking number one into two, A and B?
Again, I looked at your rules. Obviously, you can't remove an item, but I see no objection or problem with separating out those three items, because I think it's important for the record to make sure everyone knows what they're voting on.
Excuse me, Mr. Antonelli, it's not the question about breaking 1, 2, and 3. We got that. 1, just number 1.
Number one would have to be done by way of a motion to amend, to break out the two individuals that are encompassed in the one resolution now. So there would be a motion to amend number one to separate out and create a vote separately for each individual.
Okay, so basically break it into A and B?
That would be correct.
All right, so why don't you start with a motion for that?
All right, I'd like to make a motion to separate item number one, which is in the Department of Finance, recension of transfer of personnel from finance to the Department of Public Property, that's A, and B, the transfer to Community Services, which was approved by council on July 19th, 2016, and I ask for a second.
Just clarification, which one is A and which one's B, as far
Look at the
as
department,
the
it
name?
speaks for itself. One goes to Public Property, which is A, and one goes to Community Services, which is B. So one is Gregorio Center, B.
No, it's the other way.
Public Property
Yep,
is A.
Gregorio Center's public property.
They're both public property.
that's why I wanted clarification.
I think you could just use the individual's name.
Thank you.
Okay, okay.
So A is who?
A is Menzel. B is Kuzniak. Are we getting a second on the motion to separate the two?
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
No.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
No.
Strano?
No.
Yemakaitis?
No.
Medina?
I know it says Medina, but I'm still a little bit confused on this part.
It's just to separate items one
We're
and two.
separating the two and voting on them individually.
Yes, then.
Hickey?
Yes.
Alvarez?
Yes.
All right, so
Yes.
item number 1A is the rescinding the transfer for Diana Menzel from finance to public properties. And number 1B is rescinding the transfer of Ms. Mindy Kuzniak from the finance department to the community service department. And we're gonna vote on A and B, please, a motion.
Council President, there should be two separate votes.
Oh, okay, so we're gonna vote, I'm looking for a vote on A. Rescind the transfer of Diane Menzel from finance to public property. And
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
No.
Brooks?
No.
Crosby Hurling?
no.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
No.
Alvarez? Mr.
Yes.
Alvarez. 7 yes, 4 no.
So we're gonna vote to rescind the transfer of Mindy Kuzniak from finance to community service. I seek a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
No.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
No.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes.
Number 2, the acceptance of separation of employment from the city of Linden. We have A, Lance Jackson, B, Patrick Kudlak. Seek a second.
Second.
3 second. No, C, she was number C. She keeps her job.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
A and B.
Brooks?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
No.
Strano?
No on A, yes on B.
Wow.
Yemakaitis?
No on A, yes on B.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes, with the exception of C.
No,
C
this is
not
just
being
A and B.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes.
Number 3, hiring Tanya, Calenicooff, from the civil service list for a, oh, I can't do that, I'm sorry. Hiring Craig Lampert. The position is not vacant. You just voted to keep the person.
Ms. Cosby, hold on. We did 2A and B, we have to do 2C.
How? Oh, I'm sorry, so,
You didn't do C,
Yeah.
but you can't do 3A.
right. Okay, so I didn't know that. I thought it was moot. This is the worst report ever. I apologize. So I have to go back to 2C, and we have to take a vote whether or not we're going to accept the separation of Diana Menzel from principal payroll clerk at the end of her working test period from the Treasury Department. I need a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown? Brooks?
No.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes, if we're voting.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
No.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes.
Council President, if I may interrupt.
Yes.
Just want to make sure everyone is clear and on the same page. Okay, and I know this is a bit confusing, the way in which it was set up originally. Council voted on 1A and 1B. That passed, and that was to rescind the prior transfer from July. That means both employees would remain in their respective positions.
Yes.
The next vote, which just took place now,
Yeah, but number 8.
which would be 2C, okay? The way it was read, that would be a vote to terminate the employee. So I'm not sure if council understood the vote, because if you rescinded the prior transfer, leaving the employee back in the finance department, you could then terminate or not. But just wanted to make sure council understood the vote.
Mr. President,
Yes.
on number 1, staff transfer, I voted yes to transfer both members.
Yeah, that passed.
Yeah, but it was 7-4, I believe, for number 1.
You lost, Don.
Both passed in 1A, and B passed.
Did everybody understand 2C?
Yes.
Yes.
Vote to
Yes.
terminate.
Yes.
Mr. Antonelli, I believe everybody did understand.
Okay. I'm sorry. Now, number 3, starting with letter A. Hires.
She has 2 kids.
Tanya, I'm going to read again, Calenicooff, off the existing civil service list to principal payroll clerk.
It's a lawsuit waiting.
Craig Lampert, truck driver 2. Angelo Antonasso, truck driver tier 2. Alex Primavera, laborer tier 2. Oscar Goff, laborer tier 2. Daniel Frankel, laborer tier 2. And I ask for a second.
Second.
Hang on. I'm sorry, who was the second?
Number one was the second.
Lisa. Okay. Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
I'm gonna vote yes to all, and I will be abstaining on E.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Abstain to A and B and just to the rest.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes.
Well, give you time in there. I'm gonna read the next two together. I wanna do the police individually, because we wanna pick up the police. We're gonna hire, we're looking to hire seasonal recreation staff. Ryan Vasquez, Assistant Director. John Verstick, Lights and Bathroom Operator. James Julius, DPW Seasonal. Keith Brown, DPW Seasonal. Hafiz Brown, DPW Seasonal. Ernesto Green, DPW Seasonal. Also for FMLA, we're going to have employee 001968 from the Police Department, effective June 29th until September 23rd, 16. Employee 000163 from the court, effective August 22nd until September the 2nd, 2016. Employee 108112 from the Police Department, 621 until July 7th. And then we're going to have a leave of absence for employee 908841 from engineering from July 26th until October 26th. And I ask for a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes.
Number 6, we're going to do title changes. These are technically promotions. Captain Jonathan Parham will be moving from captain to provisional chief, effective September the 1st. Lieutenant Michael Sake will be moving to captain, effective September the 1st. Sergeant William Mack will be moving to lieutenant, effective September the 1st. And Officer Monica Oliveria will be moving to sergeant, effective September the 1st. Can you guys stand if you're in the building? I know Monica's out of the country on vacation. Yes. And I'm gonna ask for a second on the motion.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes.
And the last two I'll do together also. We are going to publicly advertise the following positions. Part-time clerk 1, not to exceed 19 and a half hours. This is going to be a floater in the city hall complex. So that person's going to be a part-time clerk working in the city for coverage in multiple offices. Then we have 2 part-time public works inspectors working through the engineering department. That's on a per diem basis. Part-time clerk 1 for the transportation and parking division, not to exceed 19 and a half hours. And we're going to repost the full-time city administrator position. And I'm almost positive that we were doing statewide, Mayor, statewide, right? Statewide, with the possibility for residency waiver. We have administrative changes. These are to make our Tier 2 truck drivers at the hourly rate of $21, in line with those who we just hired tonight. And those are going to be Higgs, I think it's Corey Higgs, right? Corey Higgs, truck driver 2, $21 an hour. Pedro C-A-L Calzado, thank you. Truck driver, tier 2, $21 an hour, and Clemmy McIntyre, truck driver, tier 2, $21 an hour. And that's gonna be effective August the 17th. I ask for a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown? Brooks?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yamakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes.
I wanted to just mention, wish a speedy recovery and get well to our friend and my neighbor, Mr. Elijah Johnson, who is also a city inspector and a committee man here in the city. And remind everybody to put your garbage cans in after garbage day. We had some concerns in the neighborhood about the cans being left out after the trash pickup on Tuesday. So just as a gentle reminder, pull your cans back in so that you won't get a summons. And before I close, I want to just wish my baby girl, Cece, a happy birthday. It's her birthday. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilwoman. That wasn't that long. Councilman Brooks?
Thank you, Council President. I'll be quick. I left off a portion. This is a report. I hereby submit the monthly financial report for the Division of Transportation and Parking. This report includes the collections of on-street parking meters, railroad parking lots, railroad parking permits, and merchant parking permits for the month of July 2016. New York side collections, $4,016. Trenton State collections, $5,584. Credit card transportations, $24,269.16. Parking meter collections, $14,279.95. Railroad permits, $10,083.56, for a grand total of $58,196.67. Also, on or about September 1st, 2016, commuters will have the option to pay remotely for parking by mobile phone simply by downloading the Whoosh app. For further information, visit the City of Linden website, TV 36, or contact the Department of Public Property. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Sadowski, you ready for us?
Yes, I am afraid so. Okay, first, the following licenses, permits, and transcripts issued in the city clerk's office during the month of July 2016. 103 birth, death, and marriage transcripts, $1,545. 33 marriage, civil, and union licenses, $99. 3 miscellaneous revenue, $1.40. 2 bingo raffles, $40. 159 EDRS vital statistics, cities was $2,760. 3 burial permits, money went to the state, $15. Interest earned on it, 67 cents. The total was $4,446.07. State revenue was $840. The grand total for this month was $5,286.07. Okay, the second one from the city. The city clerk licensing division is submitting this monthly report of the month of July 2016. The office issued 47 dog licenses, 71 miscellaneous licenses, and collected $2,862. Let me see. Okay, before I forget, congratulations to all the people who moved up, got promotions. I'm sure you deserve it, and we're looking forward to your service. During the month, I took a ride on a senior citizens bus. They went to the, they went to the, they picked up the people, dropped them off, but they went to the ShopRite. And like I said, the driver of the bus is Jeff Silverman. I experienced a person who really took responsibility for the seniors. He got off, he helped them on, he helped them with some of the packages they had. He was a person who was dedicated. And I want to give them credit and the seniors credit, too, of a job well done, Jeff. Over the last month, in the 6th Ward, we had a lot of, I guess, pickups, what you would call it, cleanup pickups. And I'd like to just mention 2 people who really helped us out in the 6th Ward. Al Bianco and Fred Marinelli, besides you. But they really did a good job, and I want to thank them and the DPW. The other thing I have to mention is, if you want a tree, I already have some put in. If you want a tree, please give me a call at 908-862-0749. That's 862-0749. They have to be in by the end of the week. I submitted some already, but if anyone else wants it, if you put them in now, you'll be in with the fall planting. Okay, I'd also like to mention a good friend who used to sit up here, Jack Sheehy. Jack unfortunately died the other week, or this past week. Whether you argued with Jack or you didn't, he was someone who you could argue with, and then after it was over, then go back to being friends. So Jack, we'll miss you. One other thing. Also, the Chief Schulhaver, want to thank him for the job he did, and actually sorry that he's leaving, but everyone has to do what they have to do. Let me just mention my phone number once more. It's 908-862-0749. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Strano?
Thank you, Council President. I shall be brief, and also sound like a broken record. This first item I'm going to mention is the quiet zone at the railroad crossing on Lower Road. Plans are being prepared right now by our city engineer, which is a redrawing of the channelization that's being required by Conrail in order to satisfy their safety specs. Essentially, what they need to do is keep cars from going around the railroad crossing gates when they're down. Even though that train only goes about 5 miles an hour, there's some major concern there, probably due to the product that's being transported. But I believe, hey, George Verchick? George? Could you give us an idea of when those plans will be submitted? These are the plans for the railroad crossing.
They were submitted to our consultant last Friday. She's handling it now with Conrail and the Federal Railroad Administration.
Okay, thank you. So this is the person we're talking about is Tiffany Boland, who's one of our consultants that George just mentioned, saving us in the neighborhood of $100,000 from the original plans that had been submitted by a former consultant. Just want to mention that, my regards to the Sheehy family for the passing of Jack Sheehy. He was a neighbor, and although we were, adversaries is the right word. Yeah, I guess politically only, though. We both worked in the automotive business for many years. I know him a long time. His family and my family are very, very close, and he will be dearly missed in the ward. On that note, I also want to mention that Tom Boland, who was a councilman from the 3rd Ward, I served many years with him, back in the late 90s and through the 2000s, and he was a fellow pilot. He's a guy that I got to be very close with. I even traveled on vacation with him a couple times, and he will sorely be missed as well. Godspeed to both those individuals. Just want to mention that September 21st is the end of summer, but technically, I guess, for most of the children. The summer is going to end at the opening of school, Labor Day, right after Labor Day. And what I want to do is wish everybody a safe and enjoyable Labor Day weekend. And, you know, don't forget, it's still summer till September 21st. There's a lot of fishing left to be done. And be careful, you know, schools are going to be open, kids are going to be on the street. I lastly would like to congratulate all the police officers on their promotions, and good luck to all of you, and I wish you well, and I know you're going to serve the city well. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Yamakitis?
Thank you, Council President. I want to start off with sending my condolences to the Sheehy and Boland families. I had the pleasure of both serving with Jack and Tom. They were great councilmen, and they will be surely missed. From the fire department, the Fire Prevention Bureau collected a total of $4,681.56 for the month of July 2016. The ambulance reimbursement systems for the Linden Fire Department collected $54,737.16 for the month of July, with a total deposits to date for 2016 of $385,334.92. The Linden Fire Department has planned, in conjunction with the Recreation Department, a wet down for the summer day camp programs. I attended the one at McGilvery Park, and the kids had a great time. It's nice to see our departments working together. The kids really had a great, in this heat, they couldn't get enough of the water. It was amazing. So I want to thank the fire department for coming out and working with our kids in the rec department. The Recreation Department had their annual talent and craft show last week with the theme of Carnival. The promenade resembled a real carnival with homemade games, crafts, with all the kids wanting to fish in a ping pong ball game, which was created in our 8th Ward Milkowski Park by Tyler Horsch. The kids were all busting to get the goldfish, but a lot of the parents weren't too happy with having to bring the fish home, so. Great job once again to all the staff and children who participated. For my report for the 8th Ward, the repavement of Linden Avenue between South Park Avenue and the Railroad Bridge by Cheeks has been halted due to the Executive Order number 210 issued by Governor Christie, ordering the immediate shutdown of all ongoing work that is funded by the Transportation Trust Fund. This roadway is in bad shapes with bumps in the roads and patched potholes that will not last another winter. So I urge all of you to please contact our senators to get this matter settled. We need that roadway, as well as many others in the state, paved. Paving under our capital budget has also convened. So far in the 8th Ward, Chandler Avenue between East Blanky and East Elizabeth has been completed. So now all of Chandler Avenue in the 8th Ward is done, as well as Peter Street between East Henry and Passaic, and St. Mark's between Essex and East Elizabeth. They have been completed. Ashton Avenue will be done shortly, with also, we're going to be addressing some of the issues with speeding and lack of traffic signage in the area, so that will be addressed with the paving. I will give you more information on a date when I receive it for the paving schedule. Our engineer has also met with representatives from the gas company regarding the repaving with all the utility work. The roads, I know there's a lot of bumps. Park Avenue, I would ask that the engineer try to get them to do that one first. It's, you know, with the trucks going down Park Avenue, it's really bad, noisy at night, but all the areas that were dug up will be addressed in the fall. I will be also having our September 11th vigil at the Wanda Green Park on September 11th at 6:15 p.m. I invite all to come out and remember the victims of that horrific day. On tonight's agenda, Park Plastics is proceeding with resolution number 216-287 for foreclosure, so we're finally seeing some movement on this. I should have more to report next month on Park Plastics. I just want to make mention, if you see anybody near that building, please call the police immediately. That is, please, they are not supposed to be entering that building. The Accident Review Committee has met. So far, we've received approval in the 8th Ward for the four-way stop at Bachelor and Clem. We've had several accidents there, so we should be seeing that signage getting up shortly. I want to thank all the residents that came out to our 8th Ward picnic. It was a very successful event. A lot of the neighbors really came and said they really enjoyed the way we did it this year. We will be looking to do that again next year. I want to thank everyone who donated food, beverages. It was a great event, so we look forward to doing that next year. As Councilman Sadowski had mentioned, if anybody would like a tree planted, please call me immediately. We're compiling a tree list. I know we have some streets in the 8th Ward without any trees, so please consider putting up a tree in front of your house. And I just wanted, some of my colleagues on council had mentioned the back-to-school backpack event on August 29th. I urge all residents with children to please come out. You must show some form of ID to participate. And this is really a great event that the city is working with the Mayor's Youth Commission, the police and fire departments, the CIC, as well as many other church organizations. But I must also give a shout out to our dispatchers, especially Sandy Vasquez, who has been working endlessly to make sure this event is a success. So thank you, Sandy. That concludes my report, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Medina?
Yes, good evening, everyone. Thank you, Council President. Just have a few items here, and I'll try to be brief. Just first want to congratulate our officers for under promotion, and also our provisional chief, Captain Parham. I know these guys, these men and women will continue to do a great job for the city of Linden and for the residents of Linden to help protect and serve them. So we look forward to your continued work, and again, just want to congratulate you. And also just wanted to touch on Chief Shuhei first. Want to congratulate him on his retirement. Done a lot for this city, 30-plus years, I believe, and so that's true dedication, not only as a police officer, but to the city of Linden and the residents that the department serves. So I just wanted to make sure that I congratulate him on his retirement. Also, was mentioned before by my colleagues, unfortunately, the 7th Ward councilman passed away, former councilman Jack Sheehy. He was great and loved by this community. I can tell you the Sheehy family, getting to know them, I didn't know who they were. I just knew their shop on St. George's Avenue. But they're a wonderful family. I think the reason why they stay in business so long, because they just had a reputation of helping people. They weren't running a business for charity, but they knew who had it and who didn't have it. And if you didn't have it that day, they will take care of you. So they can they made sure that you still had transportation to provide for your family. They always took care of their fellow Lindenite, and he will be missed. It's a big loss to the city of Linden. I will personally miss him, and my condolences again to the Sheehy family. And I know the Sheehy family will continue to follow in his footstep and still lend a helping hand when it's needed. Do have a library report here. I'll make it brief. All right, the Friends of Linden Library will be hosting a murder mystery dinner fundraiser on Friday, September 30th at 6:30 p.m. at the library. This year's theme is crime and punishment.
What date is that again? I'm going.
This year's theme is crime and punishment, when we get the police department involved in this one, so keep the date, guys.
What date was that again?
September 30th at 6:30 p.m. The tickets are $45. Please reach out to Ms. Dawn Biviano at dbiviano@lindenpl.org for more information, or you can get the information at the circulation desk at the library. Also, Saturday, October 22nd, the Friends will host a Touch a Truck fundraiser at the library. Tickets can be purchased at the gate. Movies at the library continues on a regular basis. Stop by again at the circulation desk for movie listings and days and times. Children's programs are also increasing, so stop by the children's room for the schedule of events. So again, I encourage everyone to visit the library. A lot of great events going on there. Most of the events are no charge to our residents, but some of them do come at a little bit of a cost to cover food and et cetera. Again, just just want to go back to this theme here. Council President and I, we attended the last one, and it was a great, great dinner event. I really, really encourage everyone to try to make it out on the 30th. Get some tickets. These guys do an amazing job. They have actors, and you don't know who they are. It's really interesting what they do there with that murder mystery night. As come to the 9th Ward, the gas company, in a couple of weeks or a few weeks, and our city engineer will correct me, we'll start doing some restoration on some of these roads. Again, if the road was paved within the last 3 years, they will pave it curb to curb. Any road that was not paved in the past 3 years will be paved only from 12 feet from the curb. So hopefully that'll take place in the next couple of weeks or a few weeks. But at the same time, they will finish the remainder of the 9th Ward, which is the remainder of Orchard Terrace and Princeton Road, Harbor, Yale, all the way to Northwood Avenue. So they will start that soon as well. So keep an eye out, pay attention to signs. I did receive my notice that I need to call so I can set up an appointment to look at the meter and whatnot. So pay attention to those door hangers that they're putting out there. So they're trying to communicate and try to make it as convenient as possible for homeowners. Also, on Wednesday, the 17th, we will be having our 9th and 10th Ward Community Meeting. The Board of Education will be in attendance, doing a presentation. Dr. Robertozzi, who's the superintendent, will be doing the presentation and fielding any questions. You know, I tell people, a lot of people give me some mixed response. We all have children, whether they're in school or not, or if we don't have children. I still encourage people, just go to the meeting, because 51% of your tax dollars are going to the Board of Education. So I think it's great. It's a great idea to come out, see what the superintendent has to say, and present his plan on how he intends to build our school district. I think we already have a great school district. I think he has a great plan in place. I look forward to being part of this presentation again, and I think it's a benefit to all of us to actually attend this meeting and learn about what our superintendent is planning to do with our children and children's education. So that's basically it. That concludes my report, but anyone needs to reach out to me, 908-986-6100. Call, text, or even shoot me an email, amedina@linden-nj.org. Thank you, and now it concludes my report. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Hickey?
Thank you, Council President. First, I'd also like to congratulate all our promotions in our police department tonight, and special congratulations to Captain Parham. A special thank you to Chief Schulhafer. Since I've came into office last year, he's been very good to the 10th Ward. Anything I've needed, he's always been a help and never let me down. So that I really do appreciate, and I wish him a great retirement. Captain Turbot, I'd like to thank him. The past couple weeks, I've had some issues, which have always been issues, with speeding. I want to thank you for acknowledging me over weekends and stepping up patrols in the 10th Ward along those Westover Road and Forest Drive. I also contacted Clark Police Department, who also was working those streets from their end as well, because it's a cut-through. It's good to have friends in other towns, too. Let's see, Westover Road. All the markings there, I put out some miscommunication. I thought that some of the utility companies were going to be doing work, but actually all those marks on Westover Road are to start paving. The same on Haven Place and also on Riverside Drive. Let's see. On October 1st and 2nd, there is going to be a citywide yard sale. The council has voted that no one will be charged for those permits for the yard sale. The rain date will be October 8th and 9th, and if you are interested, you can send your name, address, and phone number to lindenyardsale@gmail.com. On Saturday, September 24th, is the annual September to Remember, hosted by the Linden Cultural Committee. It's been a fabulous event, and it keeps getting better every single year. We look forward to everyone coming out and having a great time. If you are interested in having a table or participating in it, you can go to email www.linden-newjersey.org/boards/ /culture. I'm sure you can always call the mayor's office as well, and they can guide you the right way on where to get applications. They should be on the city website. If you also would like a tree planted, please give me a call, 908-347-4548. I want to commend the police department, National Night Out, amazing job, amazing turnout. Everyone had a great time. Nobody noticed the 100-degree weather the past, and also the first wine tasting that was hosted by the Merchants Committee at the Promenade. And an exceptional job done by all the kids in the community and the park for the recreation, art show, and talent show night. They all really did a great job, from carousels and the things they made. It was really amazing. Sorry. The passing of John Sheehy. My heartfelt condolences to the Sheehy family and so many of the friends that he had in the community. One quick little story: as I ran casino night, as sick as he was and went to dialysis, and he did go to dialysis with my sister, he wanted to help with casino night. So I gave him a grill to put together. Well, it took him quite a while, which was fine. And then when he got done with it, I said, "Oh, great job, Jack." And without using same words he used, he said, "Well, that's pretty good, because I couldn't see one thing I was doing." So, you know what? That was Jack, always out there to help. And, the great stories, we just have to keep his memory alive, and prayers out for his family. This morning, I was happy to attend. My son is going to the high school this year. And thank goodness he's joining ROTC. And of course, as I show up there this morning, who's serving the coffee but Sandy Vasquez, who, no matter what you go to now, she's there 2-3 times a day. Thank you, Sandy. So when I came home from work today, he told me he wanted to go to BLT. We thought he wanted to go out to dinner. This child never wants to go out to dinner, but I've learned that that's basic leadership training. So I'm happy to say that already today, I look forward to working with ROTC and raising money with them. This Thursday from 10 to 2, they have the ROTC car wash. It's for all the freshman cadets. So if we have any dirty detective cars or any of those cars, I suggest you stop by. Same thing with the fire department and all the residents. The kids love to see you, and it would give them a good start to a program and give them incentive to do more as they move on. Last but not least, I'm very happy to say, since I put my dress on backwards this morning when I went to the ROTC meeting, that I'm leaving for vacation on Saturday for a few days. And Armando will be covering the 10th Ward. Any problems, any needs, please call him at 908-986-6100. Of course, I will still look at my phone and my emails and so forth and so on. One more last thing. Painting of all of our curbs in the 10th Ward and the street lines. I was promised at the beginning of the summer, and that's just why I'm saying publicly tonight, that all of this would be taken care of over the summer. Nice yellow curbs to clean up the neighborhood, and nice lines all around the schools for all the children to be safe, because they're all worn out. So, do you hear me, Frank? So I just want to make sure I go on record that a deal was made the beginning of the summer, and this should be done by the time school opens. And if it isn't, I'm going to be a little upset. With that being said, I wish everybody a really one more last thing, sorry. To my little niece, 3, she just turned 3. Happy birthday, Isabel Brooke. I told you I'd say hi. And everybody have a wonderful Labor Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Mayor, you ready for us?
Yes, good evening, everybody. Prior to my reports, I just would like to have a moment of silence for our 2 fallen colleagues, Councilperson Jack Sheehy and Councilperson Tom Boland. Thank you. A little bit about Tom Boland. I had the honor of serving with Tom Boland for a number of years on council. He was very committed to his job. He took a tremendous interest in our fire department, and I think he was very instrumental in moving the department in a positive direction, and I think he had a lasting effect on the department that we have right now. He was always supportive of anything that the fire department needed, and I think to this day, again, I think he's contributed tremendously to the success of that department. Jack Sheehy. I've known Jack Sheehy since I was about 6 years old. And as I've known the whole Sheehy family, they are a family who has been in town longer than the Armsteads. We've been here for a long time. So, but that whole family, Jack and his whole family, they would give you the shirts off their back. You could be broken down anywhere, and you get on that phone and you call the Sheehys and tell them that you needed a ride, that you need to get home, your car was broke down, and they would come and get you. They'd bring your tow truck and come and get you. And the beauty of it was, you could tell them in advance, listen, I don't have any money. And they would still come get you. And they would work out some sort of payment plan with you. And it was the same if you took one of your vehicles to have repaired at their shop. They'd give you the shirts off their back. Jack and I both came up through the Pop Warner football program together, although he was a couple years older than me. At the high school level, got a chance to deal with Jack. I was a sophomore when he was a senior. So we've shared some very good times together, and he will be missed. Again, you don't have that type of giving that the Sheehys once, that kind of giving in our community anymore, and we need to have a little bit more of that these days as a community. So again, they'll both be missed. All right, now with some more of my other reports, I'd like to thank Councilman Peter Brown and Kasha Kozak for doing an outstanding job. They had a wine and cheese tasting event at the Promenade a few weeks back. It was an outstanding event. I got nothing but compliments on what a great job they did. I saw people from all over the town here, and I think these are the type of activities that people in Linden are looking forward to. He was able to pull this event off at a nominal cost. My hat goes off to them, and I appreciate their efforts, and hopefully we can continue having events like this in the town. I'd like to thank the members of DPW for the help that they gave me this past Saturday. We had a Unity Day event. Started out with gospel music. And not many people attended that portion of it. We're going to work on that. But the latter part of the program, we had a nice crowd. So I want to thank DPW for the cleanup effort. They did an outstanding job. And I'd like to thank the police department because the police department showed up and there was no trouble, but they just kind of passed through, just to make sure that things were okay. And we do appreciate them showing their faces. Because people need to know that the police don't always come when there's trouble. They come sometimes just to visit and let people know that they're part of this community as well. So we do appreciate your presence at that event. Now I'm going to announce just a few events that are coming up. Saturday, the 20th, there will be a gospel fest at the Promenade from 2 o'clock to 7 o'clock p.m. This is being sponsored by members of First Baptist Church, and all the churches from the Linden community will be attending. The day is in honor of a person by the name of Isadale Riley. We refer to her as Del Riley. She was an activist in our community. She gave of herself and gave of her time. I had the pleasure of working with her over at Weequahic High School for a couple of years. And you could really see the students in that school really gravitated to her because they know, one thing about children, they know when you care. And believe me, that was a very much urban setting. And the time and attention that children need in some urban settings are a lot greater than sometimes that we have here in Linden. And those kids really took a liking to her. And they took a liking to her because, again, children know, kids know when you really care. It's something that, you know, they just sense it. So, so once again, that's in her honor for all that she's done, and her family were longtime supporters of mine in the 4th Ward. So she's missed but not forgotten. Also on the 20th, there's going to be some activities in the 4th Ward Park, Dr. King Park. There'll be face painting, games, basketball games, being sponsored by a young lady by the name of Janelle Henderson. So if any of you could make it to that, we would appreciate it. I sponsored a petting zoo, so bring your small children. It should be a good day for our small children as well as the older children. And it's still not too late. If any of the council members would like to contribute to that event, you can contact my office, and I'll make sure that any donations you have are directed to Janelle Henderson. She could use all the help that she can get to make her event successful. Also on the 20th, we have Applebee's will be hosting the 15th and final America's 911 ride. That's on the 20th at 2:30 p.m. And everyone's invited to join us in welcoming this dedicated organization and bidding them their final farewell. This will be the last year that we'll be doing this. It's always been a great event. Unfortunately, some of the other states have not been as, they've been restricting some of the access to the highways that are needed for this particular ride. So this will be the last year that we'll have this. However, we will never forget the first responders and their efforts on 9/11, that horrific day that we had in America here. So I want everyone to come out and let's really give this thing a good send-off because they've done an excellent job over the last 15 years, and Applebee's has been always supportive. So again, I think we should all come out. There'll be free burgers, free food, soda and water. Please come out to support this last year's effort. Moving right along, as Councilman Monty Brooks mentioned, he's going to be having a meet and greet at the 4th Ward. And as your prior 4th Ward councilman, I think I'll be there to do a little meeting and greeting also. 4th Ward is still very dear to my heart, so I'll be there as well. If you have any concerns that you want to bring to your mayor, 4th Ward residents, I'll be there. The 29th, we have our Backpack to School. And first of all, let me just say this. It is going to be like something we've never had before in this town. I don't want anybody to think, that I sit up in a think tank and come up with these ideas. I'm going to give credit where credit is due. We had Pastor Pam Jones had suggested that we collaborate. We saw that we were having several events all over the town, and she said, we need to try to collaborate. And then in talking to Chief Dooley, he reiterated that point and said, we're utilizing a lot of our resources at a number of different events. We have to have the fire department, police department, DPW, public property, going to 9 different events. So what we decided to do was to reach out to all those who were involved in giving out school supplies every year and try to put it in one location. So we're going to have it at the Promenade this year. And we've got over 800 backpacks that we're going to be giving out. And I think as we mentioned earlier, these are not just shabby backpacks. These are some very nice backpacks. We've had donations from a number of people, and I want to thank all our council people who've donated. And Councilman Hickey's donated, Councilman Yamakaitis has donated, I believe Councilman Strano has donated, Councilperson Orman has donated, and if anybody else has donated, I'm not sure. I just want to say, oh, Councilman Medina's donated, okay. Councilman Brooks has donated also? Okay, listen, if you haven't donated, you still can. You can come right to my office, okay? And we'd like to get, maybe we'll get 1,000 backpacks out. But it's going to be like nothing we've ever had here in Linden. And we're also going to be giving out food to the children. So you can come get a backpack, and as a parent, you know, if your kids get if they're tired of waiting online and they're hungry, they can go over and get something to eat. So it's going to be a great day. Again, unlike anything we've had before in the city. So that's on the 29th, 5:30 to 8:30 at the Promenade. And the other thing I'd like to do is go right to the, congratulate our new police, well, not our new police officers, our new promoted police officers. I'd like to congratulate Acting Chief Jonathan Parham. I'd like to congratulate our new Captain Sake. I'd like to congratulate Lieutenant William Mack. And I'd like to congratulate Sergeant Monica Oliveria. And I'll say this, that not only did the outgoing chief, your new acting chief, and myself, we all agreed that every one of these promotions was deserving. You know, sometimes you have tough decisions when you have to make promotions in your police department. But, you know, we've observed all of your performances, and I'll tell you, you deserve to be promoted where you're at. And I'm confident that you're all going to do a great job, you know. So, looking forward to the new, I guess you can call it a new era in our police department. But that being said, I want to also thank Chief Schulhafer for his 30 years of service. It's not easy being a chief. It's not easy being in charge of over 100 men, and especially in a city like Linden. Linden is it's a very interesting town. It's got crime just like any other city, and your work is really cut out. I mean, I look at the reports every morning, and there's some things going on in Linden that are that are happening in very large cities. But we do have a good department, and I think we're putting a cap on crime, and I think we're moving in the right direction. So once again, congratulations to all of you. Congratulations to Chief Schulhafer, and I wish him well in his retirement. I'm sure I'll see him in ShopRite. He's not leaving town, so I'll see him shopping in town somewhere. We always run into him. So now we're going to go into some of the developments that we have in town. We've got some, what I think is some very good news. I think we have an opportunity has presented itself. For some time now, we've been looking at our landfill and with the prospect of putting solar panels on it. Well, at our last landfill meeting, the idea of selling the electricity to a company that's located right next to the landfill was suggested. It's a very good idea, and if we ever get those solar panels off on the landfill, we have at least a company who's willing to buy the electric. We could receive a premium for the panels versus selling it back to the grid. And also, at the same time, the company who's a cosmetic producer, Fabilia, will have a tremendous savings from purchasing electric from us versus the PSE&G or the grid. So that's actually good news. Last month, we mentioned St. George Avenue, that we had a potential developer for St. George Avenue. Well, I'm happy to announce that we not only have a potential developer, we do have a developer for St. George Avenue. And we have to sit down as a governing body and figure out how we're going to proceed forward with the development of St. George Avenue. They came to our council meeting last night. They made a presentation to the governing body, and I think that most of the governing body is very happy with the proposed development. So at last, we'll see something on St. George Avenue. On Style Street, the Cantor property, which has been an eyesore and a tremendous source of problems for the residents in that particular location. Ed Cantor went in front of our board last month and received approvals to have a new state-of-the-art warehouse built there. The warehouse, of course, he went for approvals because he's selling his property, and the new owners are a high-end warehousing outfit that will be dealing with some of the high-end stores. So you won't see the type of rundown and raggedy conditions that we were accustomed to there. And in addition, we've addressed some of the issues with the vehicles that are leaving US 1 and 9. As you all know, it's very difficult coming off of 1 and 9 and turning into that property. So we've addressed all those concerns as well. Last month, we also had a developer come in front of the planning board for the JTG scaffolding project. We're looking to see that project move forward. We're hoping to have a shovel in the ground within the next couple of months. And last but not least, for some time, we've had a property in Linden on West Elizabeth Avenue. It's referred to as United Lacquer property. This property is contaminated and has been an eyesore for years. It costs somewhere around $2 million to clean this property. And I think what has happened now is developers are starting to look at property, and if you had to purchase that property, it would cost you somewhere around $2 million. So what that means is that if we can enter some sort of arrangement where the developer would agree to clean it for the $2 million, we could move forward with developing that property. And I think that's exactly what has happened. We have two suitors, two very interested parties in developing the United Lacquer property. And they've both given me conceptual plans for what they'd like to do there. And I think with the help of this governing body, we could move this thing forward, and we can eliminate another eyesore in this city. So, Mr. President, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mayor, for your short statements. Okay, where are we? First, I would like to give my condolences to the Boland family and the Sheehy family. I know Mr. Sheehy for a very long time. His daughter and my daughter were very good friends from junior high school up, so I knew Jack even before I got involved in politics. And yes, he will be missed. He was involved in anything that had to do with kids. Also, I want to let everybody know there is no permits needed for the city-wide garage sale October 1st or 2nd. No permits. Don't go to the city clerk's office asking for a permit because they do not want to give you permits. Okay, he just told me right now, I don't want to give permits, George. I said, okay, no permits. So there will be no permits needed for the 1st and the 2nd, which is the city-wide garage sale. Also, congratulations to all the police. All of you deserve it. Congratulations to Chief Schulhafer. After 30 years, which is a lifetime, something that has to be admired. And really, he's the one that's getting the best out of all of us. He's retiring, probably going fishing, and have a good time. So thank you, Chief, for the many years. And congratulations to the future provisional Chief Parham. He's going to do a great job with the police officers that we have. And I would like to ask him, right now, I would like to ask Captain Parham if he will stand up and just say a couple of words.
Thank you, Council President. First of all, again, I'll be redundant, and my apologies for that, but condolences to the Sheehy and the Boland family. Also, I know I speak for the entire police department when I say that we wish Chief Jim Schulhafer a happy and healthy and long retirement. We certainly respect his leadership, and he will be missed as well. And we know that we will see him around because we'll be looking for him for some guidance. I want to thank the Mayor and Council for their decisions and their approval to move forward with the promotions. All of the officers that are going to be promoted, Lieutenant Mack, Captain Sake, and Sergeant Oliveira, outstanding officers. I've worked with them over the years and also very proud of them. The one thing I do want to do right now is I want to offer what I like to call the counter narrative, and that is that we've seen and we've heard some things about the Linden Police Department that have been put into the press, and I'm here to give you the other side that you don't see, and that is the side of pride, integrity, protection, and service. And this is what these officers stand for every single day, and they do it silently. Sometimes the bad stuff comes out and we hear that in the news, and that speaks volumes. But what speaks even greater than that is what they do every single day when they strap on their uniforms and they put on their badges and their guns and they go out and they stand between the good guys and the bad guys and they say, it is our job to protect. I am absolutely, amazingly, and I have no words to describe how proud I am to serve the Linden Police Department and to serve the citizens of Linden. So I know when I speak for all of those officers when I say to you all, thank you very much, and we look forward to getting to know you better. God bless you all. Thank you.
Also, the provisional chief told me that he'll make sure that none of his officers have their hair longer than his. Thank you, Captain. At this time, we're going to resolutions. We have Resolution 2016-278 to Resolution 2016-300. Public comments will be permitted for those specific resolutions to be removed from the consent approval. Please read the synopsis of the resolutions, which have been prepared by the city clerk's office. Each is informative and self-explanatory. However, if you wish to address a specific resolution, the council will entertain questions on it. Does anybody want to have a particular resolution removed? Yes, Ms. Mallett. 292, 295? Anybody else? In that case, may I have a motion for 2016-278 through 2016-300 with the exception of 292 and 295, please?
Council President, I'd like to make a motion for approval of resolutions 278 through 300 with the exception of resolutions 292 and 295, and request a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yamakitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Ms. Mallett, can you please come up, please? $292.
My question is multifaceted. For the first portion, can someone explain the disaster recovery project? What is that? Well, let me just give all my questions here. What is the disaster recovery project? And what are the computer consulting services for this project? And when we talk about public safety, I assume that's the police department and then the non-public safety departments. Someone expound upon what that is.
Mrs. Sack?
Yes, thank you. The disaster recovery project is something that the council had voted on several years ago in regards through the capital budget to address after Sandy occurred, having a disaster recovery outside of the City Hall complex. They've entered and had numerous meetings as to having off-site locations to have a disaster recovery site in the event that an emergency occurred in City Hall. We would have another safe location that we could relocate not only public safety, but also non-public safety. When we talk about non-public safety, we talk about processing paychecks, we talk about processing tax collection, we talk about running city clerk's office. So there's other departments that are considered non-public safety that are various city employee entities that are still necessary for the public to be able to operate. The public safety comprises of the police department, the fire department, and our central dispatch department. So Councilman Medina and his committee have been tirelessly working with the various departments to move forward this project. What this resolution allows us to do is to authorize our computer experts to move forward with the purchase and installation of the alternate disaster recovery project. And if you have more specific questions, I'm sure Captain Parham or Chief Dooley could go into more specifics, or Councilman Medina, who's the chairman of IT, and he's been overseeing this project. We meet quite regularly in order to move this project forward, to make sure that all the departments are getting taken care of so that we can come see this through fruition.
Right, so basically to keep the city running when we have a natural disaster?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha on that. All right. And in 295, I don't know if this is like an extraordinary item, but many times there are grants that are being written and we have like matching funds. So $151,000 is not chump change. So when a grant comes up and we want to match it, where does this money come from? You know, we have a budget, and where do we find this pool of money after we have a budget to match some grants that are popping up?
Mrs. Sack?
This, if the council passes this application and the County of Union authorizes this grant, the County of Union, with our freeholder HUDEC, has been instrumental in allowing the city to get multitude of grants year after year. The governing body in 2017 would pass the capital ordinance and appropriate the capital match. We do this through the capital budget, we pay it over time, and in this particular instance, it's two separate parks that are looking to be upgraded. It's part of the maintenance program that Director McDonald has in place to address the various parks throughout the city.
So this $151,000 is really from like last year's budget, and that we're just using it this year?
If this gets approved, right now, this is just an application to go before the county. Say the county authorizes us and says, Linden, you're going to be awarded this grant, then for 2017, it'd be in the capital budget.
Gotcha. All right, thank you.
Okay.
Councilman Brown, you have a question on 292?
292, the $96,022.14. Is that for a new contract, or is that our current contract and we're just excluding that? Or is that a brand-new contract?
Mrs. Sack?
It's part of the complete disaster recovery project, and this is from the time period from, I believe, August through till the end of this year, and if we necessary into next year, whenever the disaster recovery project will be complete.
All right, let me reframe it. Let me rephrase it. Are we paying them additional money on top of this, or is this the $96,000 so far we paid them this year? You know how like we do with attorneys, we keep increasing it when we get bills? What I'm asking is, are we paying them additional money besides this $96,000?
No additional money besides this $96,000.
For no other services?
Correct.
Okay.
May I have a motion for 292 and 295, please?
Council President, I make a motion for the approval of Resolutions 292 and 295, and I request a second.
Second. Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Ordinance first reading. We're going to start reading the ordinances from 6060 through 6067. The deputy clerk will read each ordinance at a time. Anyone wishing to make a comment, please let me know. There will be no questions, just comments to each proposed ordinance. Ms. Deputy Clerk, can you please read 6060?
Bond ordinance providing an appropriation of $66,000 for the acquisition of computer equipment for various non-public safety departments and authorizing the issuance of $62,700 in bonds or notes for the city's financing part of the appropriation.
Does anybody have any comments on this ordinance? May I have a motion to introduce the ordinance, please?
Make a motion for the introduction of ordinance 60-16, ask for a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Ms. Deputy Clerk, can you please read 6061?
An ordinance to amend Chapter 2 Administration of the City of Linden, delete Section 2-8.3 Qualifications of Article 3, add new Section 2-8.3 Qualifications of Article 3. This revises the qualifications for the city administrator.
Does anybody want to make a comment? May I have a motion to introduce the ordinance, please?
Council President, I make a motion to introduce ordinance 6061 and seek a second.
Second?
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Ms. Deputy Clerk, can you please read 6062?
An ordinance to amend an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance Establishing a Schedule of Titles, Salary Ranges, and Regulations for Maintaining the Classification and Salary Standardization Plan of all employees of the City of Linden" by adding Schedule 4 KK6. This is the salary for police chief and deputy chief.
Anybody wants to make any comments on this ordinance? Can I have a motion to introduce the ordinance?
Council President, I make a motion to introduce ordinance 6062 and ask for a second.
Second?
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
No.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Is that me?
No, that's them playing with the microphones.
Ms. Deputy Clerk, can you please read 6063?
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 7 Traffic, Section 7-33.1A, handicap parking on street, add one space for 321 Ashton Avenue on the northeasterly sideline of Ashton Avenue, 271 feet more or less southeasterly from the projection of southeasterly curb line of East Linden Avenue in front of 321 Ashton Avenue for the length of 22 feet. The aforesaid space is specifically reserved and designated for the vehicle for Carlos Chamizo to be identified by license plate number and place card to be issued by the city, and no other vehicle bearing or displaying handicap license plates or place card shall be permitted to park in such space.
Would anyone like to make a comment on this ordinance? Can I have a motion to introduce the ordinance, please?
Council President, I move for introduction of ordinance 6063 and request a second.
Second?
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling? Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Ms. Deputy Clerk, can you please read 60-64?
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 5, Animal Control, of an ordinance adopting and enacting the revised general ordinances of the City of Linden, add Section 5-5, prohibiting the feeding of unconfined wildlife and stray animals on any public or private property.
Does anybody want to make a comment on this ordinance? Nobody? Can I have a motion to introduce the ordinance?
Council President, I move for introduction of ordinance 6064 and request a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Ms. Deputy Clerk, can you please read 60-65?
An ordinance amending Chapter 7 Traffic, Section 7-13, parking prohibited for street cleaning and maintenance shall be, and same is hereby amended as follows. Add Style Street, both sides, from 7 a.m. to 12 p.m., Monday and Tuesday, from West Curtis Street to West St. George Avenue.
Anybody wants to make a comment on this ordinance? May I have a motion to introduce the ordinance?
Motion to introduce ordinance 6065, request a second.
Second?
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Ms. Deputy Clerk, can you please read 60-66?
An ordinance amending Chapter 2 of the City Code as follows: 2-12 Department of Police, Section 2-12.1, adding one deputy chief and increasing the complement of police officers.
Anybody wants to make a comment on this ordinance? Who, all right, want to come up? Can you please give us your name, address, and your comment?
Martin Jodorjevsky, I'm the president for the PBA. I'd like to first thank the mayor and the council for not proceeding with the police director ordinance. But at the same time, I'd like to express our overwhelming support for the position of deputy chief, as well as increasing the complement. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Lieutenant?
Thank you very much. First of all, congratulations and thank you, council, for supporting our promotions. We appreciate it. We take this as a big step moving forward. Secondly, yes, we would like to speak as the deputy chief and the increase of our complement. As you all know, we could use the manpower desperately. So we really appreciate this increase in complement and adding a position of deputy chief, which we feel is vitally important in the administration of the city's police department. That's all I have in support, but I would like to invite you all out to come and sit in the dunk booth on the September to remember. You're all welcome, as always, so I figured I'd throw that in. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lieutenant. Ms. Malik, you, okay, thank you. Can I have a motion to introduce the ordinance, please?
Council President, make a motion for the introduction of ordinance 60-66 and acts for second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Byer?
I'm in favor of increasing our complement as quickly as possible, but I'm not in favor of deputy chief. So I have to vote no.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Same as Councilman Byer, I'm in support of increasing the complement. I'm not in support of the deputy chief.
Yes, no, or abstain. Yes, no, or abstain.
No.
Cosby Hurling?
I'll abstain.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Just want to make a quick comment. I am in support of the complement of the police officer increase, and I'm still on the fence with deputy chief, so I'll vote yes for further discussion.
Hickey?
Same as Councilman Medina, and I'll wait for the second reading next month.
Mr. Alvarez?
I agree with the increase in police officers. I would like to get more police officers out on the street. I don't think we personally right now need a deputy chief, but a deputy chief can get us another 3 cops out there. So if it's 150 or 153, I would prefer to see more police out there, especially with everything that's going on. So I will say no to this, but I will, once this is over, I will try to introduce to increase the complement without a deputy chief. So my answer is no.
So what is the vote?
What happened?
Yes,
How'd it go?
right?
It's 7 yeses, 3 noes and 1 abstain.
Ms. Deputy Clerk, can you please read 60-67?
An ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 7 Traffic, Section 7-22.1, four-way stop intersections shall be, and the same is hereby amended as follows. Add East Blanky Street and Maple Avenue, and the signs will be located at East Blanky Street and Maple Avenue, and Maple Avenue and East Blanky Street.
I'd like to make
And
a motion.
anybody wants to make a comment on this ordinance?
Council President, make a motion for the introduction of ordinance 60-67, ask for a second.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Cosby Hurling?
I'm going to vote no for it because there was no traffic study, which is our procedure.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yemakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes. Adam, are you going to, we want to make comments? At the present time, I need a motion to close the... Thank you.
Oh, we make a motion for what?
No, nothing, my mistake. Comments from members of the public in attendance on city business only. No personal, political, derogatory comments, not to exceed 5 minutes. I have a clock here, and I will be showing you as it's going. 5 minutes is your limit. Anybody who wants to make any comments? Did you sign in? Can I have, please, Ms. Vasquez?
Sandy Vasquez, Seymour Avenue. Well, I guess you all heard we're having a backpack to school event on August 29th at the Raymond Bauer Promenade. It is from 5:30 to 8:30. You do need to be a Linden resident. We will be asking for ID. Acceptable IDs will be a license or a utility bill. And after you're checked in, you will be getting a ticket for the amount of children that you have present. Unfortunately, they have to be there because it's a first-come, first-served event. We are hoping that we have enough supplies for everybody in attendance. To date, as the mayor said, we have 800 packed with supplies, ready to be distributed, and we separated them by grade. As Michelle and Lisa, you were there with your son helping us pack the bags. Councilwoman Hickey, thank you for your contribution, and all the other council people that contributed. I know, Rashana, you had your event planned already, but we'll be there to support you too.
Be there too, though.
Okay.
Thanks.
So far, we have the collaborative efforts of the mayor's office. I have to say a very special thank you to the mayor's secretary, Rebecca. She's like an octopus. Her multitasking skills, she's just amazing. If you have a question, she doesn't have the answer, she finds it. Thank you to her. The Mayor's Youth Commission, of course, that I'm the vice president of. CIC led by Pastor Pam, Linden Recreation, Linden Fire Department, Linden Police Department, United Way, Home First. Also, many donations from our corporate neighbors. Thank you for making this event possible. It's a real community event. Like the mayor said earlier, he got together with Pastor Pam and Chief Joe Dooley, and they decided this is the best way to pool all our resources and make it a great event. I'm really enjoying it because normally I'm up at the high school with the, adult students. I'm really enjoying shopping for the little kids, the crayons, and that type of stuff. So again, if you want to volunteer on that day, you still can do so. We're gonna stage at 3 p.m. at the Gregorio Center, and then we're gonna delegate different tasks to the different volunteers. So you're welcome to do that. And you're still welcome to donate and still be a part of it. That's all I have to say about the Backpack to School event. I do have some flyers if any of you need them, to hang them in your ward. Michelle, you want some? As Councilwoman Hickey mentioned earlier, I was at the ROTC building this morning. ROTC has a very special place in my heart. Both my students were products. Well, Kyle now, my baby, is now a senior, and he is the chief commander of the ROTC unit, so I'm very proud of him. My son Kurt, he's in the Navy now. He spent 4 years in the ROTC program. It's a very important program. They teach the Navy honor, courage, and commitment. This morning when they came in, they were so scared. Their eyes were wide open, and they filed them in. And then after their orientation, when they left at 12 o'clock, they really had their heads up a little higher. They had their little folders, and they felt like they belonged to something. So if you can this Thursday come out, it's gonna be their car wash. It's for the freshmen. So we want to get them to work right away to see what it's like to get into community and do these different things. And so if you can get out there, it's between, what did we say, 10 and 2 in front of the high school. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Vasquez. Where is your son?
He's in Pensacola right now. He's in C school. He'll be graduating in September.
Very nice. Mr. Mack. Mr. Mack, want to remind you have 5 minutes. because the people stole me.
Turn your mic on, please.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. President of City Council, and all of you honorable peoples, it was not my intention to come here tonight, but I received too many phone calls that said I must come because there was a unique man that, according to St. George Avenue, from Chandler Avenue across the board, and asked me, will you please? That's what they said. I didn't say it, they said it. Sheehan was a fantastic guy at Reliable Auto Service, and you know, Mr. Mayor, Mr. President of the City Council, and members of the City Council, that me and Sheehan had a unique time. I call it a unique time because of his personality and his lifestyle. But when he went to St. George Avenue, he was a man down in the gutter with mankind. Watch the language. He was a man in the gutter with mankind, and he tried to uplift humanity to the best of his ability. We sent our deep sympathy to people from Chandler Avenue and St. George Avenue asked me, would I bring their deep sympathy that he was a great man, but he was a very difficult man to talk to on that bench. But on St. George Avenue, he was down to earth. So let it be written. The bottom line that the people asked me to come again, that because history was written. And I said, well, why I got to go? Why do I have to go? They said a man was named Porham had been decided, praise be to God, that had been decided to lead us in a direction that humanity, that people prayed for, that we would find a leader that would bring the city of Linden into the ballpark of humanity. Watch the language. I said the ballpark of humanity. I'm looking around and I'm looking around and I see my favorite peoples that they have been with me since 1964. And they know me. Watch the language. They know me and they know what I'm about. I have to put this man, Porham, in a position with Miss Tango. Miss Tango has been a fighter for humanity, and sometimes I don't hear her name mentioned, but she's been a fighter for humanity for many years, trying to save humanity. Miss Tango has made it easy for mankind and woman. It must be further noted, Peter Brown had made it known, I didn't want to get involved with this. The mayor said, I don't want to get involved with this. But I heard the chief said that brought me in cahoots with to say, now I can get involved with it. Because he said, I didn't say it, he said it. That he would turn the city of Linden around with justice and equality for all mankind. That's what he said. I didn't say it. Y'all heard him say it. I didn't say it. And I have confidence in Mr. Porham that he will lead Linden to the best, with justice, equality, watch the language, justice and equality for all mankind. And I want to tell the city of Linden, since they asked me to come, I've known this family for many, many, many years. And I do not hesitate to tell you, I do not hesitate to tell the officers in the city of Linden, you got the right idea, but the wrong guy. And his position would stand firm that you say, I would declare, if you violate the law and you think, I don't know you did it, you got another thought coming. You got the right idea, but you're talking to the wrong individual. I want to be clear on that. I want Linden to be clear on that. You got the right idea, but the wrong man this time. And that's what Linden needs, and I heard what my people said. We want a man that stands up for the justice and equality of humanity. I heard somebody say in the church, I heard them say, the Lord is my shepherd. Please don't let you.
Thank you, Mr. Mack. Mr. Kuczynski, can you follow that?
I just have to say, you only had 2 words written down on a piece of paper you're looking at.
I don't know how I am going to follow that. It's always a struggle trying to follow that. But Adam Kaczynski, 510 Livingston Road, great city of Linden. I just want to come today to mention, with the passing of Jack Sheehy, some advice that he gave me that I think really touched me as a council person, and I think maybe he didn't get a chance to share that with everybody. And I would like to be that conduit. I didn't really know Jack, and then I was elected. And first big issue that came up, I had everybody and their brother calling me, texting me, knocking on my door, pulling me 2 different ways. I knew how I was going to vote, but I was listening to everybody. And then I saw Jack coming up to me, and I said, oh, here we go again. It's going to be somebody saying, do this, try this, maybe this. And I said, Jack, listen, with all due respect, I'm pretty much in my ways here. And he said, no, listen to me. He said, do what's right for your people, and we'll work again together tomorrow. That was so important as a young council person to have somebody say that to me. Gave me that little bit of stability. And the great thing about Jack, and this is what really is the thing to think about here, is the fact that he said your people. Your people changed with Jack. It ebbed and flowed. He wanted your people to be everybody. Your people weren't your ward people. Your people weren't even your side of the city people. It wasn't even the city people, it was humanity. Jack said, do what's best for the people that work hard, try their best. If you do that, you can go to sleep with your eyes resting easy, and you're going to wake up feeling refreshed. And that advice rang true every time. So I just want to pass that along. Jack, like I said, we disagreed on a lot of issues. We agreed on a lot of issues, but we disagreed too on a bunch of issues. We were both pretty stubborn. But realizing that no matter what issue comes up, you realize I vote yes, you vote no, tomorrow there's another issue. That's the best piece of advice that he could give, that I can then steal from him to give to you. It was an honor working with those on council that I worked with, those I didn't get a chance to work with. This advice is just as important. So please continue doing what you're doing, do what's best for your people, and you can rest easy at night. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilman Kuczynski. At this time, I want to close the public comment. I need a motion to close it.
Motion.
Second.
Mrs. Ormond?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Brooks?
Yes.
Crosby Harling?
Yes.
Sadowski?
Yes.
Strano?
Yes.
Yamagitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes, at this time, we're going to have comments from the members who forgot to say something or want to reply on something. It will not be more than a minute. I will cut you off at a minute. So if you follow that rule, then I will not have to be the rude one. Mayor, I know you want to speak. Hold on a minute, please. Anybody else? Lisa, Mr. Brooks. Peter, you say yes?
Yes.
Anybody here? Okay, Mayor, will you start that, please?
Yes, I just want to remind everybody that we're still accepting applications for vendors for the September to Remember. If you're interested, you can come to my office here at City Hall on 3rd floor. That's it, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. 11 seconds. Okay, 12 seconds. Councilwoman Norman.
Yes, I'd just like to take a few seconds to also express my deepest condolences to the family of Jack Sheehy and Mr. Bolin. And also just let you know, the best way to reach me is 908-370-6482. Thank you.
Look at that, a little bit less. We're getting good at this. It's like, I like this. Councilman Brooks.
Thank you, Council President. As well, my prayers to the Bolin and the Sheehy families. And also, cousin, get well soon. We have a little thing in our community, we call each other cousins, so he knows exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Mr. Elijah Johnson. He's in the hospital. Hopefully he's in physical therapy. He gets well soon. So again, as a term of endearment, those guys who know us, cousin, get well soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Look at that, under 30 seconds. And we are approaching Councilman Brown. We should take bets on this.
Yeah,
Councilman Brown, are you ready, sir?
Yes. My condolences again to Jack, who I served with, and Councilman Bolin, who I'm trying to follow in his footsteps for. That's it.
You know, I do have to say, Councilman Brown is probably the most stubborn person I know. He had to beat everybody. He is under 11 seconds. Councilman Medina.
Yes, real briefly, I failed to mention in my report earlier that originally we have a tentative fundraiser event for Jack Sheehy to help purchase his prosthetic legs. We are still moving forward with our fundraiser to help raise funds to offset some of the costs for his funeral and medical expenses. So keep an eye out for that. I will have an actual date for you at the next council meeting, but it's late September. Please pay attention to that date or that month. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. The following council meetings will be as follows. Council Conference Monday, September 19, 2016 at 6 p.m. in the Council Conference Room, City Hall, 301 Northwood Avenue. Council Conference meeting prior to the council meeting Tuesday, September 20th, 2016 at 6 p.m. in the Council Conference Room, City Hall, 301 Northwood Avenue. Council meeting Tuesday, September 20th, 2016 at 7 p.m. in the Council Chamber, City Hall, 301 Northwood Avenue. Everybody make sure you have a happy and safe Labor Day. I need a motion to adjourn.
Second.
What? Mrs. Ormond?
Did they just cut you off?
Yes.
Byer?
Yes.
Brown?
Yep.
Brooks?
Yes.
Crosby Hurling?
Yes.
Sadowski? Strano?
Yes.
Yamakaitis?
Yes.
Medina?
Yes.
Hickey? Mr. Alvarez?
Yes.